25,000 men and women work for the UK Border Agency. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be here. They are the UK Border Force. On tonight's show, searching the valleys of Wales for immigration offenders.
We've got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to come out, please?
The family business, where everyone seems to be illegal.
His husband.
They're husband and wife, are they?
Yeah.
How did she enter the UK? Gangmaster.
And freak weather brings a passenger who creates a storm.
I want you to be on your best behaviour.
It's 11 p.m. in Swansea, and the Wales enforcement team are preparing a surprise raid on a Chinese takeaway. Immigration officers Heary and Williams will lead the questioning of any suspected illegal immigrants found working here.
Hello, immigration.
Officers immediately find 3 Chinese nationals in the kitchen.
One child upstairs asleep, yeah? Okay, we're going to go.
It is reported that the UK is the #1 destination in Europe for asylum seekers from China.
Child is in here? Just the child, or?
Child and one lady.
Hello, immigration. Do you speak English? No. Do you have passport?
A 4th person is found in a bedroom.
What does she need?
Officer Williams takes over.
Tell her not to worry. Does she want to sit down for a minute? You sit down. I need something for this lady. Some identification, some papers, or her passport, or something. She doesn't have anything, okay. Is this your baby?
Yeah, my baby.
Okay. Is she okay there sleeping? Okay. If we go downstairs, we'll talk away from the baby, okay? So if you ask the lady if she'll come down with us downstairs.
4 people and a baby have been found at the takeaway. Home Office records show this woman is a failed asylum seeker from China who came to Britain in 2004. She disappeared when her application to stay was refused. Now she's pregnant, has a child, and runs a business that is suspected of employing other illegal immigrants. One of the men found in the kitchen admits he entered the UK illegally.
Since he came in 2000, has he made any applications to the Home Office?
No, he's scared.
Did he provide any documents to the lady to say that he had permission to work in this country?
He's her husband.
They're husband and wife, are they?
Yeah.
I believe it's husband and wife. These two.
Can you establish who the boss is?
Since he's married to the owner and they have a child together, this case becomes a little more complicated.
There is the matter now that he's got a child in the UK as well. But that, doesn't take away the fact that he has come into the country illegally.
The UK Border Agency try to avoid splitting up families, so it's unlikely that he'll be arrested tonight. Questioning now moves on to another man. He's told Officer Heary that he's 18 and works in the kitchen.
How long has he worked here?
你在这上班多久了？ 1 month. 没有钱哈 ，don't get paid.
Doesn't get paid.
没有，但是我是他表弟了。
This is her cousin.
Cousin.
Yeah.
How did he actually come into the country?
那你来的时候是怎么来的？坐飞机、坐船还是什么的？I didn't know somebody basically brought him in. He came in with somebody.
He was brought in by
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Does he want to go back to China?
他问你想不想回到中国去呢 ？No.
He says that he was brought in by an agent. Probably somebody is paid several £1,000s to bring him in. He says he flew into the country, into the airport, travelled with the agent and walked through immigration control. Can you explain to the gentleman then, I'm now going to arrest him on suspicion of illegal entry, okay? If you can just explain that to him.
不是，你就待在警察局了，他们明天会到警察局来见你，跟你谈话。
You go upstairs with him now, yeah?
你现在就跟他一块去吧。
Officers search for proof of identity and find a copy of a national insurance card.
Is that his bag there?
住在这边的，有的东西也有钱，钱住在这边的。
Okay, so some of the stuff here is belongs to a private person.
The documents are not his. The team often find ID from other people as many work for short periods before moving on.
Once they're detected, they either get removed or placed in detention, and then what you'll find is this place will then be reoccupied by somebody else doing exactly the same thing.
So far, a failed asylum seeker from China has been found employing her partner and cousin. But there's still the matter of the woman found upstairs.
Tell her not to worry. Tell her don't worry.
The officers will have to find out who she is and why she's here. Coming up, an exotic seizure for the customs team.
So you've got grasshoppers. Fun and games.
And delays at Heathrow, as the case proves too difficult to decide.
What do you think?
And that's to be quite honest, I don't know.
Britain's heaviest snowfall in 18 years has brought most of the country to a standstill.
Many of the country's airports bore the brunt of the disruption.
Both runways were closed at Heathrow, but BAA has now managed to open the southern runway with limited flights.
Heathrow has one runway open, and a passenger destined for Dublin has been forced to land here. He's a man from Antigua who had planned to come to London anyway, but his luck has just run out. He was stopped by immigration after his name was flagged up on the Home Office database.
Well, his flight's been moved because of the snow.
To where,
So
yeah.
to here, he's like diverted, I'm afraid. So he's kind of blundered into us, I'm afraid. Problem with him is, he's previous overstayer, served with the form 151A as an illegal in 2007. He's coming here to visit his girlfriend. He's quite chipper. He seems, you know, fairly happy at the moment.
Handling this case is immigration officer Alison Charles.
Mr. Michael. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
And you are?
My name is Miss Charles.
Hi, Michelle.
Mr. Charles.
Mrs. Charles. Hi, Mrs. Charles. I'm Stuart. And now, Miss Charles. Gentlemen, I'm taking my bag.
Yeah,
Is that fine?
They do know.
Okay. Now, Miss Charles, I got a question for you.
Okay, that's right.
If the man has overstayed before, Officer Charles has to decide if he's likely to do so again.
Okay.
And the next thing you knew, she was off with my passport and saying that she was detaining me.
He's a character, all right?
I have never overstayed.
Okay.
Never got into any problem.
Okay.
So you gotta understand when I'm having a laugh and having
a joke. But you're really serious to find out why he's been stopped.
Yeah. Relevant.
Officer Charles has to try and work out who is right, the Home Office computer or the Antiguan. She starts with a phone call to his girlfriend.
When was the last time he was in the UK? Yeah. Was that April 2007? Can you remember when he arrived? So that's well over 6 months, isn't it? I didn't buy. In July 2006, he arrived in the UK. He requested for an extension after 6 months. This was refused. Now, he should have left, but he didn't. He left in, when did he leave? April 2007. So he was here a lot longer than 6 months.
Although he denies it, records show he stayed 2 months longer than he was allowed. Officer Charles wants to find out what happened the last time he was here.
I give this address.
Now I'm going to need to ask you when the last time you was in the UK, okay, and what happened?
I came over here on a ticket.
For 6 months?
For 6 months. Because I have paid £400 to the Home Office to extend my time.
Okay, so you...
I filled out the form just with the questions like how they asked it. I didn't do anything wrong. They sent my passport back after they took the money, and they said give them a reason as to why they must give me 6 months.
And they refused?
And they refused. Okay.
After you were refused, what did you do?
I caught a flight and went home.
Thank you. And when you go back in the holding room, I want you to be on your best behaviour.
Are you going home?
I'm not sure what you're doing. 5 minutes. Give me 5-10 minutes, okay? Calm down, okay? Okay.
Although he broke the rules on his last trip, Officer Charles believes he won't do it again.
I do believe that he will go back. If he didn't overstay, that would be the only thing at the moment that's against him. But I'm going to have to refer the case to the Chief Immigration Officer and see what he's got to say. Mr. Dyson? He wants 2 months.
2 months.
Until the end of March to visit his girlfriend. And I'm happy to land him, actually.
Okay. He's got issues to overcome, which are the fact that he was previously an overstayer. He previously had an intention to stay longer than he'd said on arrival.
Yeah.
And now he's here again on arrival, on a visit. So he has to show us that, unlike last time, he isn't going to ask to stay again.
The chief isn't content with the Antiguan's form as an overstayer. And there's something else he wants to know. The Antiguan's planned route into London was via Dublin. Was this a ruse to avoid scrutiny from the immigration team? The Antiguan will have to face more questions before a decision is made. At a Chinese takeaway in Wales, the enforcement team has discovered a failed asylum seeker from China, employing her partner and her cousin. None are entitled to work in Britain. Officer Williams now wants to unravel the mystery of the woman found upstairs.
Does she work here in the UK, then in the restaurant?
Look after the child.
She looks after the children, so she child minds.
Yeah.
And who is her boss?
那是那个谁雇佣你呢？就是他哈。Yeah, this lady.
Okay. How much do you get paid for looking after the child?
那工资是多少呢？100 pounds a week.
How did she enter the UK?
问题是怎么来的？
Sorry, we'll check on that now. Okay.
Come with gang master.
A gang master.
She said she paid a lot of money to the gang master to help her come here.
Okay. How much should she pay?
她说你付了多少钱呢？30万哈，300,000 yuan.
300,000 yen.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says she was smuggled into Britain by Chinese gang masters. It cost her £25,000.
A gang master is somebody who's really trafficked people in here to the UK. She could be the victim of abuse, she could be exploited, you know, so we need to find that out now. Can you ask her, is there any reason why she can't go home to China?
他说问你有什么原因，就是说你不能回到中国去吗？
因为我上次来欠人家很多的钱。
That she borrowed money from people.
Okay.
And now if she wouldn't go back at this moment, she wouldn't have any money to pay of the debt.
Okay.
Then she...
So she's in debt?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
As the team decides what to do, the childminder's health takes a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
She has a heart problem?
Yeah, heart problem.
Okay.
Tell her don't worry, she's not in any trouble. She's worried because she hasn't seen anybody like us before, so she's certainly very worried about what's going to happen next. If she'd like to come upstairs, she can get her medicine.
Go ahead. Yeah, the child.
This is her medication she's given to me.
That's the medicine for her heart problem.
But at the moment I can't allow her to take anything, okay?
The childminder is in breach of immigration law, but concerns for her health come before any arrest.
This lady's potentially ill. She says she hasn't been seen by a GP and we don't want to take her in the car, and she may have a heart attack or something, you know. We don't want to put her at risk at all. But we have to maintain the UK laws as well. Based on what she told me downstairs, that she came into the UK with no passport, then that means that she entered the UK illegally. So I'm now going to arrest her on suspicion of illegal entry into the UK. Okay.
他说那么也是一样的，他也得就是说拘留你。
Tell her she doesn't have to say anything, but it may harm her defence if she does not mention when questioned something she later relies on in court. Anything she does say may be given in evidence.
他就是说你也是就是说可以保持沉默的。
Okay, no, sit down. You sit down a moment.
She said that she's going to get her clothes.
Okay, no, if you tell her to sit down, and we're not going anywhere for a moment. My colleague and I will have a look in the room to see if we can find any identification documents for her, okay?
那你刚才是说那个你的包在那里是吗？
She's moved around a bit. There's some documents for London and for Bristol here. Your children?
Yeah, her daughter.
And 2 children there.
A decision is taken to arrest the childminder. Her employers are not detained because the woman is pregnant and families with young children cannot be taken into police custody.
Okay. Does she need a glass of water or something?
要不要喝点水啊之类的？
No. Okay.
The childminder is taken to a local police station for further questioning, along with the cousin of the owner who was found working in the kitchen. Although she's escaped arrest tonight, the owner could still face a fine of up to £40,000, £10,000 for every illegal worker. She is now in the process of reapplying to stay in Britain with her partner and their child. A decision is yet to be made on their case. In a later interview, the kitchen worker admitted to being 17. He was brought into the country by a female agent with fake documents. He's been bailed and is now reporting to the police regularly while steps are taken to remove him back to China. At the police station, the childminder complained of a heart problem. She was bailed for a week. She didn't return. Her employers said she had gone to London to claim asylum. No claim has yet been made. Passengers that arrive at Heathrow have their details checked by 2 border agency units, immigration and customs. Passengers from countries outside the EU have an extra check from a specialist customs team.
Anything in here you shouldn't have? This is cooked beef. Can you see this? That doesn't look too, that looks like a mould on there. That doesn't look too good to me. You know, and to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't eat it.
These officers search for any products that have come from an animal.
Yeah.
Is it nails?
7.5 kilos of horse meat from Kazakhstan. We do get horse meat from time to time, but it's not an everyday occurrence.
They are in fact just small cubes.
And the tool.
And the what?
The Products of Animal Origin team sees over 30 tons of food products banned from being brought into Britain every year.
When you say you live in Tanzania, where's your bag?
The officers can give repeat offenders a hefty fine and even imprisonment. The most common animal products confiscated are cheese and meat.
This here, what sort of meat is it?
The reason we were established is because of the foot and mouth disease, to stop anything like that happening in the future. So sometimes when food comes in, we're not sure whether the standard is the same standard required to import stuff, so it's safer not to bring it in.
Since they were established in 2003, the customs team has seen it all.
One of the other teams had a monkey.
Dried monkey.
A dried monkey being brought in.
Yeah. And we do get things like rats on sticks as well. We've had those.
This was found off one of our Chinese flights. This is bear's genitalia that has been found. Apparently it does have the aphrodisiac properties. Under it being a meat product as such, it's not allowed, so that has been taken. This is a chameleon. It absolutely reeks.
Caterpillars are a favourite. And we have bird spit, you know, bird's nest, which is bird spit. That's not allowed.
You never know what you're going to come across in a bag. You'll always find something different, probably every day.
As the green channel fills with new arrivals, Officer Harris spots a passenger with some suspicious pink bags. When she catches up with him, the passenger from Uganda confirms he's carrying a local delicacy, grasshoppers.
So you've got grasshoppers. Anything else? You say your grasshoppers are cooked?
Yeah. Yes, they are fried. They're already fried. Just eat them like
Oh, here we go. Here we go, look. All over the place. Ah. Fun and games. Right, I need to put all those little grasshoppers back in there or whatever. They're quite a delicacy, I believe. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, they are.
They are a delicacy, yeah. The grasshoppers have got to go because they're not allowed. Not much grasshoppers. 380 grams, not a lot. But you only need a very small amount to bring in disease.
It's his first offence,
There you go. Cheers.
so the man from Uganda is given a warning. Not all passengers are so easily separated from their animal products. Officer Trowbridge has stopped a passenger from Turkey.
I am a very clean person.
Yeah, I know, but unfortunately,
you know, I'm not coming from the village.
Right.
I'm coming from Istanbul and I have university graduated.
What's in here? The blood in it.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's ground beef.
Unfortunately, just the meat and the cheese you can't bring in, okay? And this is just basically mince. That's probably the worst of the worst. Raw meat. That is totally forbidden. Is your first name Aisha? Anna? Don't cry, don't worry about.
You know, I have a son.
Yes.
Only one son, and he came to Brighton.
Right.
6-7 months ago. It was December.
Okay.
And after December, first time I'm gonna see him now. He's in Sussex.
Okay.
And you must food from me, you know, homemade food from Turkey.
Right.
And I am a mother, you know.
Right. Well, if you show your son this as well, he will know the rules, okay? If you study here, you should know the rules.
The woman from Turkey leaves without her mince. It's her first offence, so she's given a warning. If the woman is stopped again and found to have broken the rules, she could be fined. Serious repeat offenders face a jail sentence. Coming up, the passenger from America who just won't give up.
It's kind of the last visit to London.
So this is it, tell her, okay, no more.
The manager, who knows the game is up,
There is he had a work permit to work, is expired.
and the man from Antigua loses his cool, graciously.
I've done everything and been nice about this, but this is like being too much now. I'm sorry. I can't help for this.
Still held at immigration control is the man from Antigua. Chief Dyson isn't impressed with his record as an overstayer and wants to know more about his route into London via Dublin.
Okay, what's going to happen is I have referred your case.
I see this. I come here on vacation and I'm being,
victimized?
Anything you want to use, any word you want to
Well,
use.
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
But the Antiguan still denies he overstayed last time, despite Home Office evidence saying otherwise.
I come here very often. I leave on time. I never overstay.
But stop.
No, I never.
Stop now. You have overstayed.
No, I haven't. Not
Yes,
when I paid.
1 second.
I paid
No. You have.
They're the one that held on to my
hold
passport.
on. The thing about it is, you have overstayed.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Where?
When you came in 2006, you overstayed.
How? I didn't do nothing wrong. All I did was paid my money just like you all asked me to do and asked us to stay for an extension time. And that was legally. I didn't try to overstay. Sorry, ma'am. I've done everything and been nice about this, but this is like being too much now. I'm sorry. I can't help for this.
Right. I just need you to tell me about your routine. That's got everybody baffled. Why would you fly to Dublin?
Was the
What's the
cheapest
point
way
of doing
at the
all of
time,
that?
my darling.
How is that cheaper than going from?
It came up cheap. It came up.
That's just
cheap.
Do you understand that you wouldn't have seen an immigration officer at Gatwick if you had gone in that method?
No.
What do you mean no?
I don't know about that. I'm sorry.
No. He seems genuine enough, not knowing about the routine and passing through immigration and that. If he's lying, he's a good liar.
The man has convinced Officer Charles that his route to London via Dublin was merely a cheap ticket and nothing else.
He's quite adamant.
The case is now creating some doubt between Officer Charles and her boss.
Right, but that's not the issue for me. I'm afraid I think I'd like him refused.
How are you?
What do you think?
And that's to be quite honest, I don't know. I'm for what Matt is saying, and I can understand where he's coming from. But it just doesn't sit well with me at the moment. It doesn't. I mean, he's given me the reasons why, and I can understand his reasons why. It doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. But I can't be sort of like 100% sure that I'm making the right decision.
Chief Dyson wants to see the man for himself. He will tell the Antiguan that he's being refused entry. At least, that's his plan.
To be honest, it's not looking that good. I need to be straight with you.
Yes.
You're going to be refused entry, okay? Now what I'm here to do is explain how you can come back in the future without having these issues and these problems. Because obviously if you've got a girlfriend here, you want to visit her, you don't want this happening, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So I'm not going to see my girlfriend today?
No, well, let me finish.
What am I doing wrong? Or what can I do to make it better? I don't like this sort of a...
Okay. How would you gauge your relationship? Would you say your relationship is the type that is leading to something a little more serious?
Yes, it is leading to something
right.
more
I mean,
serious.
are we talking, the M word here?
Yes,
at
yes,
some point?
yes.
Okay. So if it is the stage where you think it's time that you are moving in on a step, there's a fiancé's entry clearance, which allows you to come here, get married, apply to remain. I'm going to give you this couple of days temporary admission, okay? I'm quite comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you. To be honest with you, it's okay. I know I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm not panicking.
Mr. Michael, I think I have no issue with you as a person. And to give you credit, having spoken to you, I have again looked at the decision in my head. I can't change it, but I am aware of a few more factors, okay? And I hope to see you again. Okay? Much as he's a lovely man, I still think his circumstances outweigh his charm, because he's definitely a charming man.
No, they're not currently.
and I am prepared to give him temporary admission.
The chief has given him 2 days temporary admission to see his girlfriend, after which he must return home.
No, thank you.
At least forgive me at least a couple of days. It's better than sitting in there.
No, that's
no issue. No. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Two days later, he came back, armed with more paperwork, stating business reasons to keep to his original return date.
Right now, we're just short of that right now.
A lot of the things he'd supplied did go quite some way to filling in the gaps that we had. So on balance of probabilities, I decided that now I was willing to overturn my own decision and allow him entry. He was landed.
Anyone visiting the UK with a record as an overstayer faces an uphill battle proving their credibility. But this man's perseverance paid off, and he was granted entry to the UK for his full holiday.
Good luck, okay?
Alrighty.
Deep in the Welsh valleys, illegal immigrants live in small rural communities where many believe it is more difficult to be found. Officer Fulston is part of the enforcement team that searches the valleys for immigration offenders.
If immigration sort of have a blitz on these particular city centres, then that tends to push people into, if you like, more rural areas, and I think they tend to believe sometimes if they're out of sight, then they're out of mind. But if we get in, then they will come to our attention at some point.
Today the team will visit an Indian takeaway where they've been given a tip-off about one of its workers.
So he's a Pakistan male, so the last trace we've got is expired in September 07. Okay, so subject's suspected of being an overstayer.
The man they are looking for is from Pakistan. He was given a permit to work for 1 year, over 2 years ago. They believe he's still here and still working.
So we've got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to come out, please? Stop what you're doing and just move to the front. That's all clear.
Officer Fulston begins to question one of the men found in the kitchen.
Do you have any identification on you? Thank you.
The man produces a driving license and is fingerprinted. It's the man from Pakistan they came here to find.
We've had intelligence to suggest an individual with the same details as this gentleman was working and residing at this premises, and this individual is the target that we were looking for this evening.
Now Officer Fulston needs to find out if he's working here.
Could you ask him, please, how long has he been working at this restaurant? So he's saying he's not working here then, no? Okay. Anybody see him working when we came in?
He denies working. Perhaps the owner can help.
Let's just get a few details. The other gentleman, he's working for you also?
Yeah, he's on a work permit.
You have a copy of that somewhere?
He must have somewhere.
Where does he live?
He live upstairs.
Okay, do you know his name?
Yeah.
Go on, share it with me. Tell me the secret.
Rashid Ali. Secret is.
Yes,
right,
go on, tell me.
There is he had a work permit to work.
Yes, I'm listening. But there's a but coming.
Yeah,
when did it expire, his work permit?
Last year, I think.
So why is he still here, Mr. Ali?
He's just working, and
Does he have a passport?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
Does he have a passport also?
Yeah, he got a passport.
It's upstairs, is it?
I don't know.
The boss realizes there's no point in lying and admits his worker is illegal. But he could face a fine of up to £10,000.
Yeah.
Hello there, could you just inform this gentleman that on the basis of the information available to me at the moment, I believe him to be an overstayer in the United Kingdom, and therefore he is under arrest on suspicion of being an overstayer, okay?
to explain this person's going to be coming with us to the police station.
Did he understand that? Up we go then.
The next step is to find his passport.
Passport definitely not you. Now that he's been arrested on suspicion of being an overstayer, that gives us the power to search for his accommodation as well. And basically, what we're looking for is passports.
If they find it, removing him from the country will be a lot easier. And just when the search looks hopeless, the helpful boss makes another confession.
It might be in my file in my house.
Where's your house?
In Pontypridd, about 20 minutes drive from here.
So you might have
Hello
a copy
there.
of his passport there?
Should have, yeah.
We might need you to produce that for us then.
2 officers go to collect the passport, which is 20 miles away at the boss's house.
That's him. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. That's the gentleman that we arrested at the house. He's overstayed his visa. Needs to go home now. So now we've got the valid passport, we can book flight for him to go back to Pakistan.
The illegal worker is detained before being removed back to Pakistan at the end of the week. The Wales enforcement team got their man on this occasion. It's just one of the 150 takeaways they visit each year in the Welsh valleys. At Terminal 3, a woman from California has been stopped at passport control. She used to live in Britain as a student, but since then has been refused entry on 2 previous occasions. Her most recent refusal was a month ago when she arrived for a job but had no work permit.
Clearly she's been refused entry to the UK twice. Most people don't ever get refused entry to a country, so for that to have happened to her in the space of 5 months is quite a significant dent on her immigration history.
Immigration officer Lisa Lee starts with a search of her documents.
It appears she has letters from hotels where she worked previously. CV here, there's a couple of copies, 4 copies on quite thick cards, so it's not just copies that have been done just to carry. It appears that these would be given out. There's a postcard here. This appears to be a friend, and it actually says the idea of leaving home now when so much is happening in the US of A must seem very hard. So are we talking the recent presidential inauguration, or are we talking in her personal life? That we'll need to establish. But it appears to be everything that you would not expect anyone to bring on holiday with them. It casts into doubt somebody's intentions when they travel with CVs and everything else. Is it because there is some other intention in her coming back to the UK? That's only something we can find out after we speak to her. Would you like to follow me? Okay. So what's the purpose of your visit to the UK today?
To visit friends and finish packing up what I couldn't pack up in December.
Why have you brought CVs with you on holiday?
Those were just in there.
Okay, you were granted temporary admission when you were refused entry last time. How many days was that for?
I think it was 2 days or 3 days.
And was 3 days not sufficient time to conclude your affairs here?
To pack up my flat, no.
And the friend has mentioned that there's a lot going on in the USA at the moment. What does she mean by that?
My mom was in the hospital, and the day before she came home, my stepfather moved out.
Could you not have deferred the trip?
I could have, but she wanted me to go and see my friends in London, in the country, and pack up, tie up everything here.
Although she was refused entry last time, she did get 3 days to pick up leftover belongings from her time here as a student. But now she's back with the same reason as before.
It's perfectly plausible that she needs to come back and end her affairs here. However, that's why she was granted temporary admission last time. But we have to base it on probability here, and is she likely to become an immigration offender?
She's been refused entry twice before, but could it be third time lucky for the woman from California?
This is frustrating.
Stuck at immigration is an American woman who's here to collect items she left on a previous visit. But she was given the chance to pack up her things a month ago, and now she's back using the same story as last time. Officer Lee is worried that she's here for other reasons.
What are the chances that she'll overstay? What are the chances that she'll seek employment whilst she's here? So that's something I need to discuss with the chief now and see what we can come up with.
I can't say I'm that sympathetic. I mean, this is the third time that she's tried to basically come here, isn't it? And we can't see that she's made much of an effort to do anything, either by mail or by telephone or on the internet, to sort it out. And she's turned up now.
I don't know if you're aware, she doesn't have a job in the States either. She hasn't applied for any permanent jobs in the States since being back from
So
in
no
December.
evidence, really, for the last year and a half that she sees her future as being in the United States.
Well, that's my concern. Let's go and talk to her. Again. You see, the difficulty I've got is that you were given time, albeit 3 days, to pack up your belongings and arrange for everything to be done last time, and now you're seeking entry again.
I did, for those 3 days, I did the most I could do in 3 days.
The primary purpose, you say, is in seeking entry as a visitor is to conclude your affairs in London.
That's 1 day, and I just happened to...
Okay, so it's only going to take 1 day to pack up?
I'm not sure. I don't remember everything I have at my flat, and it depends on my landlord when they can do the final walkthrough. But the main reason for me coming is to see friends that I know will never travel to the States. It's kind of the last visit to London, because I know once I start working full-time, I won't travel.
I think it's just made things worse, really. She's now saying that were she not to have any belongings here, she would still have come just to see friends, as it's the last opportunity to travel before she gets a permanent job. So I don't think anything she's told me is going to make any difference, really. She says it's only going to take her 1 day to actually pack up the things that she has left, and the rest of the time she wants to come and see friends who she knows will never travel to the US.
Can you trust her to go out for 1 day? She can go back Saturday morning. Okay?
Right.
So that gives her one whole day. And this is last chance saloon, because we've done this before, so this is it.
Right.
Tell her, okay? No more.
Okay, there's some bad news and there's some good news. The bad news is you are being refused entry to the UK. We are granting you temporary admission again, as we did last time. Because you complied before, we're prepared to give you till Saturday morning. So you get tomorrow to go to your flat.
Tomorrow I won't really have time to finish.
Let me just explain something to you. The fact we're giving you temporary admission this time is extremely... You're very lucky to be granted that, all right?
The woman is given 1 day to collect her things, after which she must return to America. For the third time, the American woman has the word refused stamped into her passport.
This is frustrating. Because you do everything above the board, and I know at school there were tons of people who didn't do things above the board, and they're still here.
We're boxing in bad drivers, raiding drugs dens and getting airborne to track stolen 4x4s. New Road Wars is next. Want to see how they do it in Los Angeles? NCIS with Chris O'Donnell and LL Cool J. Brand new Wednesday night at 9 on Sky 1 HD.